you guys are doing great. It is Winning on Wednesday. We are live, and we're going to have a little fun. So I'm by myself today, as I mentioned. So I am going to just do a little chatting with you guys. I wanted to talk about something that I have been kind of developing. This is a big talk that I'm going to give at Medicare Con this year, and I wanted to kind of chat with you guys about it. A lot of y'all that know me know that I'm big on relationships in the insurance industry. I truly believe that insurance is a relationship business. And it's one of the things that truly drives me in the business and excites me. I've got a ton of friends in this industry made over the last 18 years, and developing relationships is something that a lot of agents do, and a lot of agents don't do it very well. And some of them certainly don't do it at all. So what I wanted to talk about is kind of understanding how an agent develops in the industry through relationships, or at least from the perspective of relationships. So I'm going to go through what I call the 8 levels of insurance relationships. And we're going to jump right into it. The first 4 of these are prerequisites. Every agent absolutely has to tackle the first 4, or you're not even an insurance agent. You can't get out there and make some money. The next 4, well, they're extracurricular. And these are some of the first 4 versus the next 4, kind of some of the things that differentiates agents that just get a job in the business and make a little money versus those that really scale and grow and do something big in the industry. So we're going to dive right into it. The first level of insurance relationships, I want you to think about this. How do most agents come into the insurance business? Drop some comments in there if you think you know. I'll tell you right up front that the vast majority of insurance agents, unless, of course, you're Joe Campert, are recruited into the insurance business. Whether it's maybe a warm market person that introduces them. That's how I got in the business. And that's level 1, right? The first person that introduces you to the business, level 1 relationship, is your upline, whether it's FMO, broker. And again, I came into the business through warm market recruit, a good friend of mine that I had known for years and trusted, tricked me into getting in the insurance business, but I love it. And I've been here for 18 years. You know, other people, maybe they answer a recruiting ad in the newspaper. That's how old I am, if that tells you anything. Or maybe online, Career Builder, Monster, some of these other ways. But the very first relationship that an agent develops is that relationship with his upline, right? The one that introduces them to the industry. And it's absolutely key to have a great relationship there from both sides of that angle, because obviously the FMO, or the broker, or your upline rather, is there to support you, provide you mentorship, guidance, so that you can actually grow and learn in the business. And obviously you as the agent also have to do your part to maintain that relationship well. So whatever standards they set for you, you know, and kind of the guidance and mentorship that they provide you, you got to live up to it and make sure that you're doing your part. So level 1 relationship is obviously the upline, the first way you get in the insurance. The second relationship level, think about this, is with the state. Because as soon as your upline introduces in the insurance business, next thing they do is they make you go get a license. So now you have to develop a relationship with the state. You got to file some paperwork, do a background check, get your fingerprints out there. And whether you think that's not a relationship or not, it absolutely is a relationship that you have to maintain, right? The state's going to set the standards on what it means to have your license, right? They're going to tell you what kind of fees you got to pay, what the rules are to behave, to make sure your license stays intact, continuing educations, the different fines that you might be approached with in case you do break the rules, and so forth, right? They're going to set the standards with you. And the truth is, well, a lot of you agents out there already had a relationship with the state before you got into insurance, and that's okay. We're not going to hit you on that one. But ultimately, you have to kind of abide by those standards and be a good agent, be ethical, not be fraudulent, and follow the rules that the state sets. If not, well, ultimately, they can take your license away from you and you no longer have an insurance career, right? So again, level 1, your upline. Level 2 is the state. Level 3, what's the next thing that happens to you as you grow in the insurance business? Your upline is going to hand you a stack of contracts to fill out. So now you have this relationships that you're developing with the insurance companies that you represent. Obviously, you got to have a great relationship there, right? The carriers are going to have certain standards that they want you to abide by to represent their product and represent it well. And a lot of people don't really pay attention to this or know this, but if you look in the insurance contract, it will tell you that you are an agent of the insurance carrier. You are not an agent of the client. We all like to think we're the client's agent or we're the agent of the client, but truthfully, contractually required, We're an agent of the insurance carrier. So it's our job to make sure that we are living up to the standards, the ethics that carrier wants us to live by and work by, right? And serve them in their best interest, right? And there are a lot of insurance carriers, I can tell you, in the Medicare space that have some very strict standards on how they want you to go out and represent their product, the type of business they want you to attract to their product. And if you don't abide by that, well, they'll straight up terminate you. And not just from that aspect, but think about this. And I've seen agents get themselves in trouble with this. All of these carriers, as good as they are, they occasionally have problems, right? With the volume of business that is pushing through these insurance carriers. I mean, this is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So these carriers are pumping a lot of business through, right? So occasionally stuff happens. Well, if you don't handle yourself professionally when carriers make mistakes or when applications or commissions might fall through the cracks, man, they'll blacklist you and they will absolutely terminate you. I've seen excellent agents in the business, and I mean great agents, great producers, heavy volume producers, get themselves terminated by insurance companies just because they don't treat the carrier professionally when they're calling into that home office on the phone. I know a lot of times we get a little frustrated with how the customer service groups deal with this, right? When we're calling into some of these bigger insurance carriers, maybe we don't think that home office rep is doing their job the way we would expect them to do it, but that doesn't matter. You as an agent have to be professional when you contact that carrier and deal with them over the phone to help them resolve the problems, right? And if you don't, they'll terminate you. And word gets around, man. These carriers do talk about agents, and they do share from one carrier to the next, or from carriers to uplines and so forth, how agents behave. And that means how they behave ethically, how they treat people professionally, and whether they're running debt on a carrier. All that stuff circulates. So again, it's up to you to make sure that you are managing yourself in a very professional manner to uphold that carrier relationship. That's level 3. Level 4 is the obvious one. This is the one everybody thinks about, and that is your customers, right? If we don't have any customers, we don't have any business to write, we don't have a career, we're not making money. So it goes without saying that you have to have a great relationship with your customers, because if you don't, they're going to run and find somebody else that can take better care of them, right? So even though we are an agent of the insurance carrier based on level 3, we still want to make sure that we are taking excellent care of our customers, because number one, that's what's going to create customer retention, loyalty. And if you take really good care of them, well, they're going to bring their friends with them and bring referrals to you. And I've learned this big time in as I've been working more in the Spanish market with my wife. It's amazing how these Hispanic folks, when you take good care of them, next thing you know, they show up, they got their abuelita with them, their primo, their prima, the tia, their tio, they bring them all and they're looking for help. And that's all because you did what's right by them and you have a great relationship with them, right? And when it comes to customer service, just getting that business on the books is one thing, but maintaining it is what really gets revenue in the insurance business. So excellent relationships with your customers is obviously a necessity. Those are the first 4, right? You cannot be an agent if you don't have those 4 relationships. If you don't have an upline, if you don't have a relationship with the state and a license, if you don't have contracts to work with and insurance companies to represent, and then finally, if you don't have customers to sell to, right? Those are the first 4. If you don't have those nailed, you're not in business, period, right? You're not an insurance agent. The next 4 are the extracurricular ones. I see a lot of agents stop at those first 4, right? They get some contracts, they get a broker to help them out, they get their license, and they get some customers, and that's as far as they go. So what's going to separate the basic agents from the ones that really get into the top, the ones that really grow, the ones that really build a career in this industry, is learning to tackle these next 4 relationships. And level 5 is going to be vendors, right? You got to get some good vendors that you work with. And I don't mean just lead vendors. Basically, the vendor relationship level is anybody that you're having to cut a check to as an expense for your business. So whether it's buying leads, spending money on marketing, could be a CPA that you're working with that helps you manage your taxes, could be an attorney that you're using to help you draw up contracts, things of that nature. Anybody that you're cutting a check to as part of an expense for your business, that is a vendor. And it's important to have great relationships with vendors, because if you don't treat them well, they're just not going to do business with you anymore, or they're not going to go out of their way to do business with you. I take very good care of my vendors. I refer other people to them, and I work very hard with them because I want them to do right by me. I want to get the best service from them that I can get, right? So a lot of these vendors that I've repetitively do business with and work with and help refer them business, they go out of their way to make sure that I have what I need to succeed. And that helps me move into level 5 or level 6, I'm sorry, which is your network. Your vendors are also part of your network. And level 6 is your network of the people that are around you. It's been said that you are the average sum of the 5 people that you spend time with the most. So who is in your network? Are you hanging around the right people? Are you hanging around toxic people that are going to drag you down? Ultimately, you want to make sure that your network is filled with people around you, colleagues, friends, family members, different vendors, et cetera. They're going to help you raise up your business. Because if you're not doing that, you're going to stagnate, and you could even fall behind and maybe even get yourself pushed out of the business. So think about your network. Your network is the group of people, professionals, colleagues that you surround yourself with that's going to build camaraderie, right? People that share the same ideals that you, people that are in the same business as you. You're also going to find mentorship here, and you can build some excellent friendships, and you can push yourself through your network. You can push yourself to level 7. And this is the big one. This level 7 is where most agents really take their business to the next big level in the industry. Level 7 is strategic partnerships. A lot of agents don't go out of their way to try to build strategic partnerships. They're just happy, like, hey, I'm good. I got some customers. I buy some leads. I make some money. This is great. But the ones that truly scale something big and build an excellent career, an excellent agency, an excellent massive system for themselves, they're the ones that go out and look for strategic partnerships. Your strategic partnerships, number one, can come from your vendors, which is in level 5. It can also come through your network. If you're networking with people properly, right? Like Joe and I, for example. Joe's become a great friend of mine. We met at networking events. Joe's in the P&C space. I don't do anything in P&C. I'm in the Medicare space. Joe doesn't do anything in the Medicare space. But we have built a collaboration where we can go out and help people through this podcast alone, through some of the other relationships we built. It is a strategic partnership that we use to lift each other up. I refer business to Joe all the time. He refers agents to me that want to work with me. That alone is a strategic partnership. I'll give you another great example of strategic partnership is what I'm doing here right now. I'm here with a primary care clinic that I developed a relationship with that allows me the exclusivity as their Medicare go-to agent. So they refer Medicare beneficiaries to me. I come into their facility and I'm able to teach a class on Medicare in their little offset classroom. They have an offset classroom attached to their clinic where they teach health and wellness classes, Tai Chi classes, yoga classes, all kinds of good stuff. And they've allowed me the exclusivity to come in there and teach people about Medicare. So we run Turning 65 workshops for people that are coming into Medicare for the first time. It's a smoking partnership, and it is definitely a two-sided partnership. I'm able to bring people in, introduce them to Medicare, turns them on to my business. I make them my clients where I can build revenue, but I'm also introducing them to that clinic. So they're able to tour the clinic, see what it's all about, because it's a clinic that only serves Medicare beneficiaries. So it is definitely a give and take and a very win-win relationship. So depending, and I can't speak really good on strategic partnerships that might exist in the P&C space, but in the Medicare or health or life space, I mean, provider relationships, doctors, I have great agents out there that have built phenomenal relationships with chiropractors and dentists that they're constantly referring them business. And if you guys know Emily Trevino out there, she is huge on building strategic partnerships through provider relationships. If you can learn to tackle level 7 and you can learn to get out there through your network and find people that can help you elevate your business where you can also provide value, you are really going to have an opportunity to build something huge, something special. That's a really good space where you can learn to differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack. And that leaves us to the final level, level 8. Level 8 is when everything comes full circle. It's almost like an octave in music, right? Where you're constantly moving up and you get to the 8th note. It's the same note as the first one, but it's kind of a repeat. And now everything is vibrating at higher frequency. Level 8 is a downline. Are you building a downline, right? When you get to the downline, that's where you now start to duplicate yourself and truly start to scale, right? So as you work your way through these relationships, you get to the final level. Now I'm bringing in people that I can coach, I can duplicate, I can grow my business a lot faster. Obviously, you got to treat these people well. A great relationship with your downline is 100%, bar none, absolutely a must, because if you do not go out of your way for these people, they're not going to stick around with you. So you have to make sure that you're providing the right support, the right mentorship, the right guidance, whatever that may be. And as that relationship grows, it might change a little bit in regards to how you work with them. So for those of you that know me, you know that I'm kind of I have two capacities that I work in the insurance space. Number one, I'm a wholesaler with Precision Senior Marketing. And number two, I'm an agency owner with Avila Medicare Solutions. So I have a lot of downline that I work with, and those relationships are a little different. At PSM, right, these are independent agents and agencies and FMOs that I work with out in the space. So those relationships are a little different than the guys that I'm working with Avila, right? Avila, they need a little more coaching, a little more direction. So I have to push myself further in that relationship than on the PSM side. PSM is a little more of a 50-50. Certainly, I am always willing to put forth my effort for them, but I need some effort in return, there as well. So my agreement with those agents is like, look, I will always meet you halfway. It is 100% a 50-50 relationship. Anything you need from me, I'm going to jump there with you. The Avila side's a little different. I have to push harder. I can't just be a 50-50 there. I have to outwork my downline all the time, 100%. I can't let them outwork me. The day that my downline outworks me at Avila is the day that I fail. So I have to always be a true leader in the Avila space to make sure that these guys have someone to follow. They have a mentor. They have someone that's there to coach them and meet them and do that. So, for example, that's why I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, drove to Houston, Texas to meet with one of my agents and run this event, right? He can run the event by himself, but what good am I as a leader if I just say, hey, man, cruise over there. I'll drop some forms off for you. Go run the event. You're going to do great. No. That's not a leader. That's not someone that's truly trying to invest and develop and build their downline. I've got to be there for him to coach him, support him, and make sure that he has all the tools necessary. So if he's willing to give 50%, I have to give 150%. And that is what you have to be able to commit. If you really want to build a downline, you got to be a leader, right? Until you can find someone that can replace yourself as a leader. So if you can learn, I promise you, if you can learn and look at these relationships in that order, number one, again, is your upline, the person that brings you into the insurance space. Number two is the state. Got to have a good relationship with the state. If you don't, they'll take your license from you. Number three, the insurance companies. You don't take care of the companies, they'll terminate your contracts. Next thing you know, you don't have products to sell. Number four, your customers. You got to take care of your customers. Create customer loyalty. That's what's going to help perpetuate your revenue, bring you referrals, and bring you a good client base to work with. Number five, the vendors that you work with. Take good care of them. I promise you they'll take good care of you. Make sure that you have all the tools that you need to succeed in the space. Level 6, build a network of people that you can surround yourself with that can provide you mentorship, guidance, camaraderie, everything that you need. And that pushes you towards level 7, which is your strategic partnerships. Build those, and that's where you truly start to scale. That's where almost some of the free money starts to come in, because you're really greasing the wheels at level 7. And then finally, level 8, duplication through downline. And that's where you can truly start to build a massive opportunity for yourself and provide opportunity for other people. I promise you, if you think about the insurance space through these relationships and development of an agent, you're going to do great at it, man. You can't fail as long as you don't quit at it. So this is a little bit off the cuff for me today. Joe threw this at me late last night, like, hey, you're on your own. So this is something I've been working on. And I hope you guys found some value in it. But I am going to go get me some breakfast here at Los Yardas. If you're ever in Houston and you want a nice, good, authentic Mexican breakfast, come over to Los Yardas. It's right on Gessner at Hammerly. And if you are in Houston, come see me over at our primary care clinic today. We're running a killer seminar. We're going to do it lights out. We're going to sign up a lot of people. It's going to be an awesome event. So I hope you guys have an awesome Wednesday today. It's going to be a great day for me. I guarantee it. And I wish you guys to just go out there and tackle your business. Think about relationships as you grow, build them, and get out there and do something special, man. Grow something massive. So have an awesome, awesome Wednesday. Have a great week. And I will see y'all next Wednesday. Have a good one.